All right, we call this meeting to order at 4 p.m. on August 26, 2025. This is the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee meeting. Can I get roll call, please?
Diana Witt,
Alex Dulce,
Ernesto Mora, Eric Salakian.
And Lester Mascon. Alex, do you have any public comment?
not at the moment.
All right. Any changes to the agenda required? No?
No.
Good, all right. First up, status update for facilities projects. Mr. Kai Wynn and Ernesto Moore.
So, I'm gonna give you a PowerPoint presentation
All right,
and, Mr. Mays, we're gonna summarize what we discussed last time.
Sure.
We're just gonna update you with
Please.
my phone and, we'll go from there. First, we're gonna start off with the summer project, what we've done so far and where we're going next. I'll give, Mr. Ernesto Mora the floor.
So the roofing for High Desert School, it's gonna be completed during the winter break. We didn't have enough time during the summer. We ran out of time. The Vasquez High School shade structures, working on getting a DIR number. And it's gonna be completed within 6 to 8 weeks. The Metal Arc project was completed during the summer. The carpet replacement at the district office was completed during the summer as well.
we got all the portables painted out there?
Yes.
Nice. Did you have to do much replacement of the wood or
We
anything?
did,
or-
we did quite a bit,
Okay,
yeah, some of them had more damage than others.
we should go over there and take a
we
look.
went
I'd
into
love to go
detail.
check that out.
Yeah, it's very light, we'll get over there. We replaced the sink at the district office. We completed the kindergarten rooms, the levers, all of them have safety levers on there now. We got the walkie-talkies in place,
Did we get the carpet done in the,
yes, carpet was completed as well.
okay,
The staff lounge was completed.
Just really quick, Ernesto, some good news. We're continuing the expansion of Little Owls. M and O, Kai, they're working on a third section, a physical space, first section for another kinder class.
it's fantastic.
We started that work already. And also the Metal Arc furniture was all completed, put together, in place. We put in the data drops for the district office, for the kindergartners and the TK classrooms. And we put in the actual printers along with IT, all of them were in place.
Thank you, IT.
That's all I have for the maintenance and operations for now.
You got quite a bit of savings so far.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead, Ernesto.
Yeah, we completed that already.
So, yeah, we made some savings, we moved some of the expenditures to developer fees as well as Fund 14, which is deferred maintenance. Like we mentioned to you and the board during our adopted budget, that there were some funds that were available in those Fund 14 and Fund 25. So we're able to utilize them because we're modernizing the school site because the district is growing in general. Right, and on top of that, for savings, like we mentioned to Mr. Mays, at the last meeting, the last two meetings really, that we were able to garner some savings in regards to our old veteran and certificate teachers. They retired, some of them moved to another school district. We brought in some new young teachers.
Well, they're not old. Just
Seasoned, that's a better word. Thank
And then
you.
teachers coming in, they might be, let's say, first year teachers.
Yeah, understood.
First-year teachers, yes, thank you for correcting. So we're able to garner some savings for the kindergarten position, first grade, sixth grade, and some small savings in regards to a certificate teacher that taught 7th and 8th grade social science. That person left and he brought someone in and there were about $5,000 savings, and then a veteran math teacher.
So we have,
retired.
so you're saying we've had some OpEx savings related
Yes,
to.
yes, sir. So in essence, about $193,000 saved.
Got it.
Right, and then for classified, we are not gonna refill the SPED behavioral assistance as well as one instructional aid, so we've got a little bit saving there, about $48,000. And then, like I mentioned last time, we were contributing into the PARS, the Public Agency Retirement Services, for the last 5 years. So we won't have to do that again, but there'll be some savings there. And then we looked at, again, what we discussed earlier. When we were modernizing the school sites, the classrooms,
So just real quick, why did that cost go away?
because we did a early retirement incentive program or a golden handshake. This was like 5 years ago before our time.
Okay.
And so we put it in
So that's end of life now?
a saving for employees that wanted to retire early. They the district gave an early retirement incentive, whether, I don't know how much it was, but this is how much we were contributing every single year for the last couple of years.
Just for the sake of clarity, President Maston, the agenda itself, we're kind of flowing in
Yeah.
one presentation, but it's 2 line items.
Okay.
Cost, facilities project, Mr. Morrow gave an update, and the cost saving measures, Kai is providing that update.
Yeah.
Good.
Got it.
Just to clarify. All right.
Before we jump into the cost saving stuff too much, just to go back. The quotes we were getting for the roofing stuff, are you finding savings there or expected savings there on that, or?
There are some savings there.
Okay, good. I think if, I think the other roof that was having a problem over there was the multi-purpose room you had said, right?
Yes, multi-purpose room is the other building that needs to be looked at.
If we think we'll find enough savings between those 2 roofs to try to get that
Not
one
for
done?
the roof replacement,
Okay,
yeah. But I'll definitely look into it, maybe we'll get lucky, but
maybe while you're getting
That's
quotes from those contractors, you can at least get a quote
Yeah,
for it, just so we have an
especially quotes on it.
understanding of what it's gonna cost.
yeah, 'cause that building is pretty big.
And before we move away from the summer projects, I did have a question about a certain scoreboard that we need to put up at some point.
Yes, we're gonna work on that one as well. During the summer I didn't have time, but now that summer's over, I'm gonna work on getting the votes for it. See how much it would cost to put it in place.
At this point, do you think it needs to go on the football field, or do you think it needs to go on the basketball court? Because it almost seems like it's too big for the.
It is pretty big. I gotta see if we're able to put it outside, but I think it would be better.
It's
indoors.
NEMA, okay.
Yeah, indoors would work better. The
Okay.
way it is, it's basically a bunch of computers put together. Little monitors. I don't think it's gonna do good outside.
It's NEMA rated.
It-
It's a NEMA
Oh, so
rated
then
outdoor
we could-
display.
Yeah, I can get close to both to see what would work better. It's cheaper to mount it indoors, it's gonna cost a little bit more because we're gonna have to work on the actual wall to make.
It's
it-
probably cheaper. You already have the frame out there. You
Yeah.
just have to literally pull the old scoreboard down and pop it up.
Yep.
And then use a HDMI cable to it when you're
Mhm.
using it.
I'll get my guys.
You could probably put a little hotline box out there for little. Like rugged computer outside or something, just to be able to
Yeah, the
connect
mini
to it.
tower we can use and.
Yeah.
Sell it.
And then if I could just interject for future agenda items, as I've been kind of on the campuses the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Vasquez being one of them, they're excited about the potential scoreboard, and they threw a few ideas out in terms of location. They thought it's either freestanding or it's gonna be wall mounted perhaps in the gym. Just food for thought to bring them here at a facility subcommittee meeting, just to be part of the discussion as we move forward.
Yeah, it should be their decision where it ends up going.
Yeah,
It is 20 foot by 10 foot though.
Yeah.
So it's-
The big
one.
yeah, because even
They're excited.
The
They're
marquee-
part of the discussion.
the marquee that we have right now, we're always getting complaints about it being too shiny at night.
We should turn that off at night, but.
We do, now we turn it
Oh,
off,
do you?
but
Okay.
before we were getting
There's a
complaints
timer
about
on
it.
it, or we?
No, we
physically
gotta,
have
we
to-
gotta physically go in
turn it
there,
on?
turn it off, and then turn it on the following day.
I'm sure the software has a setting.
Yeah. we-
Probably
we-
scheduled
We can do it, yeah, because right now we've been doing it manually.
We can look into it.
This probably isn't good for it, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
probably better to just schedule it in the software to.
Okay.
We'll check. We'll check that.
Yeah.
You plug it into.
No, we had an actual, there's a switch.
Let's go flip the
It's
breaker.
a breaker.
Not from the breaker itself, there's an actual switch for it.
That was me complaining because at night they're going astigmatism bothers me.
It is bright when you're driving by, like you can see it, it's like, wow.
That's fine at night. It's pretty bright.
It'll last longer too, because those
Oh, yeah.
things have a life on them.
Probably get a better life of it.
But there's no houses on it. Right? I thought it was gonna be beneficial for the school, that way you
I think
can.
there's one
You can
across
have
the
a
street.
Mhm.
Oh. I want-
There is one across the street, up on the hill, there's a
Yes,
couple
up
on the
the
hill.
hill, right,
there.
Like an angle.
It's up pretty high.
So.
Well, that's fantastic. You guys got through all of that stuff. You think you'll get the roofs done over the winter break?
Contractor said he could get it done at least, if he's not able to do the two of them, at least one, and then
Okay.
get the other one during, spring break.
It's great.
We'll see how much we can get done.
All right, so we're officially on to our next topic of cost savings measures, so glad that you guys found some cost savings on the projects. That will make everybody happy for sure. I think there was some additional stuff at High Desert that if there ends up being savings specifically at High Desert, that we could try to do some of the other things that we had on the list there that were scheduled in the out years. I think we had stuff that was scheduled a little further out, like furniture and some of the flooring and stuff.
Furniture, that's right.
Furniture specifically, because
Yes.
Inconsistency.
well, they kept messing up the floors. All the
We bought some furniture during the summer to replace it on last one, and we took out the other furniture that was more basically damaged, we replaced it with the one that's still, so we don't have that issue right now.
that's good. So I don't think we need to go back through the OpEx savings that we experienced, but it would be great to see a new forecast at some point with the new head count.
Correct, so I'll be updating that at first interim
Okay.
with the new enrollment increase. As well as the projected average day attendance to be included. And then also the cost savings in here.
Yeah.
In regards to the new employees. And then, and see where we're at.
It'd be interesting at some point to be able to draw a connection between the investment we made here at this campus and then the increase in students that we've had here and just kind of go, okay, this was probably paying for itself in 1 year.
It is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, with the increase in enrollment here, it's dramatic.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyhow,
I think we're on to other reductions.
other funds and yes, the savings and then other reductions. We were brainstorming the last two sessions, we were looking at. Reducing the outsourcing of charter buses, if that's possible, because I mentioned that we spent close to 70,000, something like that, in regards to charter buses this last year. And if we can look at possibly investing in another bus. So that way there will be two AC buses that we can use instead of. Because if we invest in charter bus in 2 years or 3 years at most, we will recoup our cost. Right, and then maybe looking at turning off, working with our teachers, our staff, classified staff, working with the custodians to have them turn off the lights and the AC units. At all of our schools.
That's probably a bigger one. I think every time I've been here on the weekend, you hear the AC is just cranking away. That'll increase your usable life on those items as well.
Yes. I sent out an email this morning as well, regarding that.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
For the charter bus stuff, or just buses in general, I mean, it'd be nice to see a comparison between, okay, we only lease buses. So we don't have all the maintenance costs, we don't have to worry about, other than just basic maintenance, we're not doing all these heavy service items. I know it's different for a school district, obviously, but every place I ever worked at where we had a decent fleet, they were always leased for a certain number of miles. Basically, you just always had new buses or new vehicles. I think we did 100,000 miles on our work trucks and they just got flipped every 100,000 miles. Ended up being cheaper to do it that way. Between downtime, better quality of service as well for your customers.
Mhm. Yeah, well, we can definitely look into that, if that's it, you know,
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's another option it's a viable option. We could take a look at that and bring back a proposal at another subcommittee.
yes.
Future subcommittee.
They'll even buy your existing buses that you have and lease them back to you. If you have any that are within miles that you've already purchased.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought the most we have right now.
No, you probably get rid of those, the ones you have now, they
They're
probably
these
just
options to
replace.
purchase. Like,
But-
yeah, basically like the vehicles probably.
But like the new ones you just bought, like they'll literally buy them back from you, give you cash, and then just lease them back to you.
Okay.
And
That's
then
a good
you
idea.
just with a plan to get rid of them after a certain miles or
If
whatever.
they're on the warranty, you get a lot of stuff for free.
Yeah,
Free maintenance, free. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do some research on it.
and then, you know, other reductions, again, we're just brainstorming here. Are there any other ideas, suggestions for reducing costs, expenditures? This is a brainstorming session, so if you have any ideas, that's on, we'd love to hear, if you got.
yeah, for
any
sure.
thoughts.
I mean, it'd be nice to see where we've landed though, even if we do something earlier than the first interim report, just to go. Maybe an updated forecast, because our last forecast was based on a certain ADA. And
Mhm.
obviously, we're well beyond where we had originally forecasted for ADA, so I think it'd be nice to see. How big of a problem we're trying to solve for
Okay,
the balance of the year, so would it be possible to update the forecast?
yes, it is possible, and I can produce it, a rough draft.
Yeah, it wouldn't have to be, you
Um,
don't need to land on the moon, but like, just at least come up with like, okay, what do we think the gap is actually going to look like
Sure,
for this school year versus what we had originally forecasted that?
so maybe in September. and the
Yeah,
next
For sure,
Um,
if you can think you can get it done that early, but
if-
that'll at least give us, you can't manage what you can't measure, right, so. If we have a good measurement of where we think we're at, that'll tell us how large the problem is, but it'd be nice to zero out that deficit we were planning on having, based on the revenue increase. From the new ADA,
Yeah.
it looks close to me.
Will be either, if it's either September, or October.
Okay.
Because we do our census data, the first Wednesday of October.
Okay.
So that'll give us a better picture.
Yeah, just whatever you feel comfortable committing to, that would be great.
Okay, so September, October budget update.
Under generating revenues, gentlemen, in terms of Saturday school for attendance recovery. Ed Services, Dr. Chamberlain's been doing a great job in terms of putting those pieces together. We're estimating that we'll kick off the pilot for Saturday school, most likely in early October. And that way, students who have missed school unexcused, our schools will be making contact with parent guardian to say, hey, Johnny, Sally could come to Saturday school, one, for instructional recovery at the same time to recover their attendance for the previous week or weeks. That way, the district itself doesn't get dinged, so it's twofold. One student, recovers their instructional time that was lost, at the same time, we don't lose out on that either. So more to come there.
Question, are we gonna need custodial or maintenance to open up the site on Saturday?
Yes, yeah, so we'll need that because snack needs to be provided and we'll have a planning team in terms of the final steps. To include, of course, M&O.
Can we get an understanding of what the break even is on the number of students we need there for that
Definitely.
cost to make sense?
Yes, because we will have to have staff.
Yeah.
One certificated teacher, so we'll have that cost breakdown for something.
As far as attracting local students to attend school, either in person or district virtual academy, did we have growth in our virtual academy this year?
Yes, I don't have the numbers, but that's a great point. We had students that registered for Accelis full-time, elementary, middle and high, particularly secondary, more so than the elementary. So that money for Accelis did pay out in terms of the increased enrollment and getting that information out there and bringing back some students that were homeschooled full-time back to the district and to our fold in our matriculation. I can bring those specific numbers. We do have a list of. I just got that list today for inter-district permit students overall. About 110 students, and this covers kinder through 12th grade.
Okay.
And that's not just this year, some of them are just rolling over from the previous year. But a total of 110 students on permit.
Pretty good.
And we're looking at, as we were brainstorming, we were looking at possibly investing in an education foundation where that person can go out. Yeah, just a community member here or someone that has experience with K-12 marketing experience that can solicit and get donations from local and enterprise organizations for donations or something. They can do silent auctions, they can generate enough revenues that we can provide summer school to our students at no charge, because right now the district is paying for summer school the general fund, but that's something that it can be its own independent, not part of the district, but independent.
Many school districts, thank you, Kai, many school districts, as we know, have an education foundation and they'll do their own fundraising. And many of it goes back to the classroom enrichment, student achievement, for example. Our summer school is, recovery and some, for credits as well as extended school year for our students with active IEPs. But many education foundations will go ahead and fund LEAs to have a summer school at no cost, but for enrichment purposes.
Okay.
That's just one small example, but again, just examples that we're just entertaining at this point in time to generate revenues. And the education foundation, many districts do have an education foundation, something that we're exploring and like to think about.
Sounds good. Welcome, Bill.
Sorry, free.
No
Hour
worries.
45 minutes on the freeway. Yeah.
Of course.
I do like that. If you have a business plan related to that or some sort of expectations you could set for what that sort of what sort of revenues that could bring. That'd be good to look at. I think if I was to pick where we should focus, it's got to be on ADA. We have extra resources and focus. That's the low hanging fruit.
Yes.
That'll yield the best results for revenues certainly there. So I would before we invested in that, I would think that we should make sure we're doing all we can on the rest of it as well. But if you, I don't know anything about it, so if you want to put together something that explains what your expectations would be, like year 1, year 2, year 3, or something like that, I think that would be great.
Yeah, and it could be a part-time, just start off a part-time person
Sure.
that can go out and our goal is to make it self-funded,
Sure.
where the district doesn't have to pay for the employee, but the education foundation will pay for the employee salary and more.
Got it.
That's all. So. And then, I know that, we talked about, our community members, alumni, find bricks, at our school site, putting their name on and place it on the school site wall or ground, that's a way to generate revenue.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be something that would be cool to do just for kind of maintain the history of Acton. I would also say just to, I mean, it sounds like a cool thing to tackle on. If we can make it cost neutral, I think that would be, make it fantastic. If it generated revenue too, then that would be great. But I think that would be something cool to do.
Yeah.
Just for that, just for the, maintain the history.
And especially when alumni comes back 20 years from now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then, we also looked at, I know that, well, we discussed earlier about outsourcing to charter buses. Maybe we can incorporate some of those expenditures into some of those programs. Like for prom or for, going to Universal Studio for senior day. Right, grad night, thank you. If they're gonna buy a ticket, they can incorporate the cost of also from the card into the overall cost of the ticket.
Sure.
That's a way to generate.
Again, this is not something that's confirmed.
Yeah, no, that's-
These are
I-
just ideas, things that we even pick up from, best practices from other school districts as well.
I think, and I think we just need to quantify everything for like what expected, this cost benefit analysis on each one of those things, just to go, okay. Obviously, no one's gonna be happy about that one. And if it's gonna yield very little, compared to other things we could do, it's probably not something we should do.
Okay,
But,
well, it was just ideas.
no, I think no ideas are bad ideas right now. Obviously, we have a pretty large gap to close when it comes to our budget, so. That's why I'm really interested in seeing just a forecast of what we think we're gonna land at this year, just so we can, see if there's a gap we can close. Obviously, anything that's like expenditures are probably our biggest area for making headway on this. We've done a wonderful job bringing in new ADA. I mean, everybody involved in that needs just to be celebrated on that one because that was huge for us. Well, more of that, please.
Right. Well, what we're hearing from our, little owl parents, the kinder parents are saying, oh, you know what? I have a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, they'll be here in the fall.
Yeah,
And we're hearing quite a few of that, so, the littles are tucked away and, at home, and we'll be seeing them soon.
no, that's great.
We'll be expanding, I'm sure, but.
Yeah, I mean, if we can, and based on what we're saying, it's like, we're offering real value there too,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think that's very helpful to the community as well.
And if I could just chime in quick, I agree with Mr. Mascon in terms of, whatever's not gonna be impactful to our students and our parent community as far as fees, is something that we're gonna be, steering away from
Yeah.
to the best of our ability and taking a look at internally, what is it that we're gonna maximize, such as the ADA recovery, be it with Saturday school independent study, so forth, so on, and that's gonna be our main focus moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all have a goal here, right? So we would love our facilities to be in absolutely amazing condition. We want to have enrichment programs, athletic programs, and electives that really truly delight our children that are coming here, the kids that are coming here. We want people to really enjoy being here. And just as importantly, we want this to be a highly competitive place to work from a financial standpoint. So the more ways we can increase revenues, we can reduce, costs that don't need to be there, and we can try to hit those goals.
Definitely. And again, we're brainstorming and I know that, or Vasquez High School stretch all the way close to the freeway, right? And we were exploring last time we met in regards to investing in a billboard or investing in, or using the donation of the marquee where we can sell advertisement, outside advertisement, to the vendors that wants to advertise their services or product and services to our community, because we get a lot of traffic going through that freeway. And, we can 4,000 per advertisement, and it can grow, and it's a way to generate ongoing sustained revenue. That's the
For sure.
goal, it's ongoing sustained revenue, what we need. So that could be an option. We looked at, briefly looked into how much it would cost to install a billboard. And that can range anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000, 400,000, something like that. But again, that may, and obviously there'll be ongoing maintenance and stuff. We may have to look at putting aside $6,000 a year, an estimate, I'm just throwing.
Well, why would you not run into a billboard? If you're gonna do a billboard, you go to a billboard company, they rent the spot. They pay you revenue, then you don't have any maintenance or anything else. I mean, you're gonna get.
You build the infrastructure, supply the land, and they basically manage it for you, and then you get a
They'll
percentage.
put up the bill, they'll install it, they'll do it all,
Oh, really?
so.
But if you think it's something that you wanna look into, then think it through and come up with a business plan for it. Talk to companies that are willing to rent the space from you for utilization for that. And then,
Well, so we get a percentage.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
You get it, yeah.
Similar to like,
Ernesto doesn't want to be putting up billboards.
I think they treat it like he's a real estate. Yeah, much, it's like, yeah.
But. You get a lot of money for it, but what happened with the Vasquez parking lot senior? I mean, it's a small amount of revenue, but it's something that was supposed to happen, and I heard it was not, because somebody said no.
The senior.
Oh, the spaces.
Lot,
The spaces.
spray painting the parking lot.
Not spray painting, but
Job.
making,
It was some sort of paint, because
Right.
we're talking about paint thinner and then removing it with paint thinner. So, you know,
it's not the way it's done in every other school, it's put on and then it's painted back over black. It's put on, painted back over black, so there's no paint thinner involved.
I'm just going back based
Yeah.
on the proposal that was emailed to us with
Okay.
paint thinner, and I was like, well, the chemicals, the safety concern, the health hazard, potential health
Right.
hazard. Take a look at exploring other options, that we could go ahead and,
Yeah, I know that
Cool.
the other schools I've looked at, that all have it, most of the high schools do, it's painted black spot. They get it for the school year, they paint whatever they want on it. Maintenance comes at the end of the school year, repaints it black. And it's repainted on, so there shouldn't be any paint thinners. I mean, you could mandate a water-based paint, which is pretty much California mandate anyways, and, which still gives me.
Honestly, it just sounds like something more cool for the kids to have as a
Right,
more
but it's-
experience thing
I
than.
mean, it charges like $100 or whatever,
Yeah.
so it's minimal, but it's something.
it's more school spirit than.
I think it's more school spirit and
Right, well,
probably charging just enough to offset for the cost to
Or
paint
doing
it,
it for
fix it
next
and all that.
fiscal school year.
Good discussion topic. I don't know if it fits in the revenue generation side, but
No, well, I mean, I'm saying that it generates a little bit of revenue, not like a lot.
A lot of spirit.
a lot of spirit, a lot of
Revenue.
schools. We need revenue. Okay.
but if you can think of any other, thank you, Mr. Mays, that's a good idea. Any other type of generating revenues, this is for us to explore and,
Sure.
other means.
And I think the only thing we've talked about in the past is our cost to maintain the Agua Dulce campus. And how we're doing with our revenues versus costs to maintain that campus over there. Make sure our,
The one that
Right.
leads to.
yeah, ours lease to Iley, making sure the facility lease is appropriate over there, making sure that they're meeting their requirements as part of the lease. Making sure they're taking care of all the things they're supposed to be taking care of over there. So maybe we can treat that campus like its individual business unit with the revenues versus costs directly associated with that campus and everything, right? From whatever insurance we're carrying as a result. Do we pay taxes on property tax on?
It's a question.
I don't know if they do or not. The school districts pay property tax?
I don't think so.
So,
I haven't
Yeah.
seen a bill. for
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
But basically looking at all of our costs associated with that campus, comparing it to what the rent is over there and making sure that it's appropriate.
you know, we could read this back as a report in terms of,
Yeah.
in terms of these requirements being met at the minimum.
Yep.
Read that back.
We've been walked through that campus. A lot of those buildings are really tear down at this point. We're not really gonna get any further use from them. I think the charter's happy with it, but they're key kind of limping them along really. That would probably be one of the biggest areas, I think.
Yeah, we are generating revenues from leasing that facility.
Well, I'm sure we are, but whether or not it outweighs the cost associated with having it, it's probably the question.
Right, and, yeah, we have to do a comparison. And almost, what needs to be modernized over there.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we have to think about whether we should have it or not. We need to keep it or not. If it's costing us more to own it than it is to actually have it. And we don't forecast at any point that we're gonna need it again. then we should probably consider whether or not we even want to continue owning it.
Mhm.
I don't know the answers to those questions. That's not a suggestion that we turn around and sell it, but let's at least understand what the cost analysis is on it today.
We could embed that into the report in terms of the cost effectiveness.
Yeah. It turns out it's costing us money to have a charter over there, then it's probably time to renegotiate our lease. I think it's up soon, right?
Yeah, it is coming up, I think it's 2027 or something like that.
Okay, it's a good time.
We can look at the contract, the MOU.
Yeah.
And maybe either continue to increase the fees every single year in increment. And then, or like do a study to determine whether it's feasible to keep it or to sell it. So.
The data will guide us on what we should do.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then, I know that, the board was asking, in regards to the one-time funds that we have
Mhm.
and what we used it for in the past and present, and what we're gonna do after those one-time funds are exhausted. So since COVID, I think it was 2021 hit, we were shelter in place, the federal government and state government wanted our students back in the classrooms, and as well as our teachers and administration and classified staff. So based on our average daily attendance, our enrollment, this is a summary of all the one-time funds that we received from 2021 through now 2025. Obviously, there were time limits that we have to use all these funds. And as you can see here, we received ESER 1, ESER 2, ESER 3, the GEAR fund, the coronavirus relief fund, as well as in-person instruction, expanding learning opportunities, the expanding learning opportunity paraprofessional, the ELO / ESER 2, the GEAR fund / ELO. So it's a combination of federal and state funding. They split it up. And then we received the emergency block grant. The ELO was the big one, right? 1.5 million. And then we also got the emergency block grant. And then the arts block grant. Obviously, we exhaust the majority of them, 80% of them. And what's left is a little bit of emergency block grant and the arts block grant. Obviously, as of September of 2024 last year, all of it would have to be exhausted, or else we would have to return the funds back to the state or the federal government. So
If I could just interject really quick for those who are tuning in or for those who will tune in to the subcommittee meetings that are being uploaded by IT on our website. And attachments that are not being projected currently, so people can follow along in terms of the narrative. If we could have this as an attachment uploaded along with the video link, something that I would recommend.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you. Just wanted to put that out for you.
As these funds are gone, were there any recurring costs associated with these funds that we're now covering the recurring side of it?
yeah, so go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, but you understand the question?
Yes,
So if we signed up for any recurring costs, hired any employees associated with these grants that are now going away, like what's the balance we're left with as a cost, annual cost versus
so very good.
funding sources gone?
Yeah, very good question, and a lot of these one-time dollars that we use it for off-schedule increases.
Good.
They're like basically bonuses
Mhm.
for our teachers to return back to school, and then we also pay for essential workers at the beginning to spray down the area, like custodians or maintenance and operations staff, our essential workers with our cafeteria workers, as well as administration and trying to asking our teachers to return and be in person. We did a lot of investment and putting in with distance learning at the beginning, with ESSER funds, we purchased a lot of Chromebooks, we bought hotspots. We used personal protective equipment with a face mask, with the shield, we bought a lot of monitors,
Yes.
quite a bit of monitors.
And just a question, right, when you say that it asks questions, I mean, so all those Verizon hotspots, we turn them off?
We did.
Not paying for the services anymore on it. And then,
We only have a few,
Yeah.
they're needed, some students.
then obviously all this software as a service we've bought, Edmentum, quizzes, paper education, those are all gone now, we're not having. Okay.
And then we invested in a drinking fountain at all three, all four sites, really. And then again, the bulk of it, with the ESER2, the gear, Chromebooks, the fund relief fund, 639,000. Again, hazardous day, we bought fucking supplies, virtual learning, apex, hotspots. We bought document cameras, headsets for the students.
Real quick, so all that stuff that you purchased for like Chromebooks and everything, you still have all that stuff in use today?
Yes, that's correct.
And then you're encumbering some funds or doing some ledger, like for the replacement of those at some point, so you're working on creating a budget to replace all that when it's gonna come due?
It's been created, can I chime in?
Yeah, please.
It's been created. A couple of years ago, we had conversation with the business office and superintendent at that time, you know, we started a replacement cycle because the life for Chromebook is just only 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's a normal thing, you know, for any device. But this one, the operating system stopped updating, so they kind of do it on purpose, you know, so they didn't take the latest version, so that way you can buy the new ones. It's too much of expenditure to buy all of them at once. Right now, our district is 1-to-1, so meaning we have one device for one student, right? It's really hard for us to buy 1,100 devices at once, and
Sure.
expenditure is gonna be crazy. So years and years ago, we started, I think 2017 or 2016, we started a replacement cycle. Where we can buy, you know, just only a certain amount every year and every year. After COVID, you know, we saw a little bit of an increase because, you know, some of the behavior of the kids, you know, like, you know, we have more devices that were vandalized and things like that, you know, so the numbers are a little bit, you know, different than before. But we do have that in place, just so you know, and as a matter of fact, we do have, well, you know, for the next, board meeting, I believe, you know, for replacement of those.
Yeah, as long as we're just creating budget for it, you know, we're encumbering funds that are gonna be set aside for that. It's in our budget, so it's not a general fund spend.
So it's a 4-year cycle, sorry,
For you.
so it's 250 every, about two.
We started with that, you know, I went down to 150, and I think right now we're doing 100, you know, just for the savings.
Yeah,
We're trying, Caesar and myself this year, we did a lot of repairs in-house. So a lot of them, like I said, you know, the vandalism, our numbers went up. And, we save a lot, you know, I think we're kind of like probably save like $11,000 worth of Chromebooks and repairs, you know, in-house. Like just in the last 6 months, 7 months.
yeah, you can change like power ports and stuff.
Yes.
Inside USB ports, you can.
I'm looking into, maybe getting a software for a 3D printer to keep the keyboard, and things like that, some parts, you know, to do it in-house too, you know, that way we don't have to buy, you know, parts for it.
Awesome.
Anything that we can to save money,
Sure.
we're there.
And both Ernesto and Alex and Caesar, they try not outsource a lot of stuff, they try to do everything in-house. That way we can save some money. And that's
Sure.
They would make the monitor, they would make the keyboard on the Chromebooks. The grounds team, they would do things inside, they weld the locks. They not have to outsource it. With their party.
Yeah, we collaborate a lot, but just recently, this week, I think last week, we have an issue that we have to pre-program the bell system over malware, right? And we used to use a company and they charge a lot just to come and program something. That it's not related to a network, it's a completely different system than IT, right? You know, the IT is, they have different branches, but, we researched a little bit, me and Caesar and Ernesto asked for a little bit of help, and then I was like, yeah, let's look into it before we call someone. We'll look into it,
It's like,
$1,100 in the bank, you know, so we didn't have to save that money,
oh, that's good.
yeah, so we do a lot. I wanna thank Ernesto too, because he helps us a lot. Every time we have Chromebook deployments and all devices and everything, there's a coordination too. Every time we deploy devices, maintenance have to be involved, we have to put everything in a trailer, on a truck, and transport everything, and he's always there for us as well, so.
Awesome.
It's a good teamwork.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Gotta work together.
So we're saying that there were no recurring expenses left over from these grants that we were carrying on.
Well, man,
with-
the Chromebooks are ongoing,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
On the other general fund now. They're, we use, for emergency issues, like, for example, if a water broke, a broken line, before we were able to use one-time funds like the ESSERS and the Corona Relief Virus funds. But now, well, both funds are gone, we would have to use different funds. And then there's some software like, Accelis,
I think I'm mostly worried about staff that was being paid
right?
out of these grants that we no longer have the money.
Right, so like I mentioned, for the most part, for employee staffing, it was, the majority was off,
Off schedule.
off schedule,
Yeah,
so
got it.
increases, thinking, bonuses. We did pay for, the arts block grant, we did pay for an art teacher, obviously. But when that gets exhausted, then there is an ongoing arts, music in the classroom grant that will
It picks up,
transition.
yeah, got it. I think a lot of districts are in trouble right now because they hired a lot of staff related to these block grants. And the money's gone. So now they're still stuck with hanging on to all the expenses related to it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily wise to hire staff with one-time funds.
No, it's not. It's not.
General thumb.
But a lot of it is just, goods and services.
Materials,
Yeah,
supplies.
Materials,
products.
yes, thank you. And, obviously, Nearpod, quizzes, we still use quizzes, as well. But I know that Ms. Chamberlain is looking at possibly eliminating the quizzes as an, software as a service that we pay every year. We did use, the emergency block grant, but, the interactive display and, the, what's it called? The, textbook adoption as well. That was a huge cost, so, but in summary, this is what we have, and the remaining that we have left is the arts block grant. As well as the, a little bit left over emergency block grant.
All right, I don't think we asked for public comment. We do have somebody from the public here. Do we have any public comments or questions?
Don't see anything in the chat. Oh, Tracy has one. Hold on.
Tracy, have a hand up.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I had a question, and I'm sorry, this might be a dumb question, but regarding the Agua Dulce school, I know it's been a subject for many years on whether to keep it open or not, and my question is, it's such an old school, and I don't know if way back when that school was built, if there was a school bond or if the state built it way back when the states used to build the schools. So my question is, does the district own that building or would it revert back to the state? And I'm sorry if that's a stupid question, but I was wondering if you knew.
No, I think it's actually a great question. I think we're pretty far away from deciding what to do with it.
Okay.
I think, but that's a good point. Yeah, I have no idea. Do you have a thoughts on
The
that?
district owns.
The district owns that campus?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
But just to clarify, like right now, we're just trying to make sure that we're charging an appropriate amount of rent based on our cost basis for maintaining the campus.
Right.
So that is for as far as future agenda items, a biz analysis on the AD campus. Definitely one of the topics we want to come back to. Whether or not it's this next agenda or the future one, but just getting a refreshed forecast based on our current ADA. And try to incorporate some of these cost savings that you found along the way. So updated forecast. And again, well done, everybody, for getting that done. It was huge for us. Dr. Saki, have we had any update on that, the grant money that was retracted?
The mental health
Yeah.
demonstration grant. Yes and no. Many of the states, LEAs, agencies that receive the grant, have joined a, I don't want to call it a class action, but litigation, within each state. California has followed suit. To be part of the litigation, an agency, an LEA would have to rescind their appeal with the US Department of Education. In checking with our legal counsel, they indicated through litigation, through the courts, there's very definitive processes in place and timelines. The US Department of Education, as part of the appeal process, has been quite ambiguous without any dates and timelines regarding the appeal. So it was recommended, albeit these are unprecedented times, this has not happened before during our time as educators, even with legal counsel, Mr. Waincart's experience. He indicated it's probably best to go through the litigious route and join the class action with those agencies and LEAs in California. So there's a definitive process there. So we joined that class action to see if we could go ahead and stop the rescinding of the funds so that we can go through the entire course of our mental health grant, which will take us to 2027.
When do we stop receiving the funds, or have they already stopped?
No, the funds go all the way through the fiscal cycle, the typical fiscal cycle through the Department of Education, which goes through December 31st, 2025. So
Okay,
they go through the calendar year. So we have our funds all the way through December 31st.
so when do we need to understand our fiscal impact on that? And then have to make some,
You know, I can't speak for the courts, but the process is underway. The first hearing was August 15th, and they're putting other dates in place in September. So hopefully we hear some positive news in the month of September, early October, so that we could plan one way or another, whether we're gonna continue through the grant and full cycle with funding, or we have to recalibrate and come up with a default option.
It sounds like they're trying to get it done before these funds are.
Oh, absolutely. Correct. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
can we keep this as a standing item at
Yeah.
the end of the year on our,
Absolutely.
I think if we arrive in November,
Mm-hmm.
without any sort of update, maybe let's pen a date in November where we need to. I think we need to provide updates to the board as well on a regular basis, and then we'll need to make a decision for one, how we're gonna handle the rest of the school year based on we get bad news, or if there's no news or bad news, and we need to figure out how we handle the rest of the school year and then figure out what we do going forward from there.
And I can incorporate in my superintendent's report, starting with the September 11th
Okay,
board meeting.
we'll probably provide a small update out of this meeting,
Sure.
for tomorrow, or day, Thursday.
Sounds good.
The only other item I'm curious if we had a chance to look at is if, you know, most smaller companies or districts, whatever, they will use a co-employment service so that they can get better benefits for their employees and reduce costs. It's definitely an area that I think might be worth a look. Maybe Jackie can provide.
The card, yeah?
We did check, sorry.
Okay.
And I could have Jackie provide an update to that. There was some hindrance in actually moving forward. I believe it was perhaps the size of our organization. There was some
We were big enough.
parameter
Yeah,
that we didn't qualify. But I could have Ms. Erdrich provide a formal
Okay, that'd be good. Maybe at the next meeting.
Sure.
It's called a professional employment organization. So if you have a smaller company, and you want access to like amazing benefits, you probably use one at yours potentially, but, if you have fewer than 100 staff or fewer than 200 staff or something like that, you can use a co-employment or professional employment organization. So you become you're like a co-employer with this company, but it gives you access to like a co-op insurance. So you can have absolutely amazing benefits as if you were a company of, 500,000 people.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
She looked into that. Both Kai and Jackie during the past fiscal year, they're very diligent and quite aggressive in terms of taking a look at other options and vendors and insurance companies and even going direct to insurance companies to see if we could get better quotes and rates. So thank you for that because it took a lot of time. But again, based on that, we ended up again continuing with CVT, the consortium, because they had the best rates in comparison to the others that they looked into. And that was one of them as well in terms of Jackie looking into the professional organization.
Okay.
But she'll provide an update at the September subcommittee. So in terms of what she found out.
Doesn't need to be exhaustive. If it was we looked at it, bad idea, that's probably fine too.
We can shoot an email.
It could be an email, yeah. This meeting could have been. An email. Okay, so I think that's it, unless anybody else has any other topics, right? No. All right. That's all, then we adjourn this meeting at 4:57 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.